morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, SKN.
You're watching Good Morning SKN with Mimi Armstrong and Jamie Morris, live on Studio 327.
Doing this morning. We are doing fine. How about you?
I'm okay. I went to bed early for one, so I'm feeling a little bit more refreshed than usual. How about you?
I thought you were going to say you're feeling a little bit more refreshed than me because I'm telling you, these days I'm very exhausted. But hopefully you guys out
We
there
can't
are
tell.
not. You can't tell? That's
No.
good. All right, so we're moving straight to the latest, and I think you have some local.
Yes, I do have some local news. For the first time on any given day since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, 4 cruise vessels have been docked at Port Zante. This comes as the sector slowly rebounds from the shocks brought on by the pandemic, which crushed the cruise industry, for a long time. In effort to rebuild the sector, the tourism officials in the Twin Island Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis had held discussions with management of cruise lines with the aims of vessels making calls to Port Zante. Those discussions, of course, were fruitful and are reflected in the number of vessels making calls since the sector reopened. It was so nostalgic to see those 4 cruise ships on Port Zante, and I'm super excited for what that means for the country.
Yeah, it means a lot to a lot of people who were out of work for a
long time. Actually, when I was leaving yesterday, I saw some of those those trucks with the tourists on there, and I was just so it looked like the St. Kitts that I knew.
I want to know what gets you so excited about tourists, seeing tourists?
Again, the same thing about bringing money into the country. I know lots of people who are out of work for almost 2 years, and now they get the opportunity to go back to work, provide for their family. It's always a good thing. And I think St. Kitts is a beautiful place, and I'm always happy to show off my island.
You see, when you said money, I remembered our segment yesterday with the money.
Right. So it's super exciting, new opportunities, and we're happy to welcome visitors back to St. Kitts and Nevis.
All right, exactly. And in other local news, farmers field school training underway at Foy's Outreach Center. So several young farmers are currently participating in a 6-month Farmers Field School FFS training program, which offers farmers a platform to exchange knowledge and perform practical experiments, etc. So here's a quote coming out of that. And then we decided to put down a farmer field school. So the reason for that now, with some of the materials that we brought in, mainly eddos. Do you know what eddos are? And Tanya.
I've heard my grandmother talk about about eddos and Tanya.
Eddos.
Not my favorites, but I guess they're good for me.
Well, I suppose. Eddos and Tanya, they said, which they had to do some mini sets and cut them up and plant them. And they also selected certain young farmers who have not been involved in the crop before. So really good initiative here. You're branching out on the skill set of farmers,
right?
What they do, and maybe even educating you about eddos.
Yes, educated. My grandmother would be so upset if I said I didn't like them, but yeah, I'm not a fan. But as the daughter of a farmer, this is super interesting. This is super exciting. I think I say everything is exciting. But yeah, a good opportunity for younger farmers.
And not just that either, it's geared towards making sure that the importation of certain crops is reduced.
Perfect.
So exactly, this is what the field officer said for District 1, Lionel Stevens. So very good initiative. If we can buy local, grow local, eat local, even better.
We'll be healthier and younger. I'm obsessed with you.
I know you're obsessed with you.
So we'll stay younger. Yeah. So more on the local news. On Tuesday, December 14th, is Budget Day in St. Kitts and Nevis. So in 1 week's time, December 14, 2021, the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, will present the highly anticipated national budget for the upcoming financial year. The National Assembly is expected to convene at 10 a.m. during a special sitting that will be held in the St. Kitts Resort Royal Ballroom At the sitting, the annual financial statement and budgetary proposals for 2022 will be presented by the Prime Minister. He noted that it's a decisive tool in our efforts to protect the poor and vulnerable and consolidate our gains in agriculture, fisheries, tourism, manufacturing, and construction, just to name a few. Do you watch the budget?
No.
You don't
You
want
need to ask me if I budget.
Okay, do you budget? Do you budget?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
I mean, it's always, I don't set out to watch it, but whenever I see that it's on, it's something that I stop to listen to. It lets me know where the country's priorities are. And
Absolutely.
I mean, I also like when they get really passionate and, argue a little bit, a little spice.
Yeah, well, with limited time, let's talk about what's going on in Haiti for the regional news. So with the regional news, we've had hostages that were kidnapped in Haiti. I think you knew about that, about the Canadians and the Americans, the missionaries. Well, apparently three more of them have been released. Three more of them have been released. No details have been given as to their names or anything, but they have been released. So thankfully, they're being released, although slowly, it seems.
Okay, that's some good news to end on what's happening in St. Kitts and Nevis and in the world. Thank you guys so much. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Has anyone ever touched you here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
Back to Good Morning SKN. If you are just joining us, waking out of bed very lazily this morning, you have not missed much.
I'm very envious if they're waking up right now.
Yeah, so we're still giving you the latest, and we have some international news coming your way.
All right, international news. I think we just seem to not be able to run away from these COVID stories, which I'm not a big fan of, but I guess that's what's happening, and COVID is here to stay, as the expert said. Cruise ship with COVID-19 infections has new passengers. A cruise ship that carried at least 17 passengers and crew members with breakthrough COVID-19 infections when it docked in New Orleans has set sail again with new passengers. 9 crew members and 8 passengers were infected with the infected when the Norwegian breakthrough arrived on Sunday, a Louisiana Department of Health spokeswoman said on Monday. None had any symptoms and all were fully vaccinated people were those who were allowed on board. The cruise line said that all the passengers that boarded the Norwegian breakaway on Sunday were offered a chance to cancel without penalty. The company did not immediately respond to questions on whether any did cancel or how many passengers the ship now carries. Guests who opt to sail must wear masks while indoors except while eating or drinking and will be tested twice during the cruise. That's what the statement said.
Scary stuff.
Is it really that scary?
How do you feel about traveling like that? particularly with a story like this, when there are breakthrough cases, and we seem to be getting more breakthrough cases as we
right, and especially with the new variant.
Yes, the Omicron variant.
It almost sounds Godzilla-like.
I was going to say sci-fi, scientific.
It sounds very scary.
Science fiction.
But I mean, again, this is what the new normal is. I'll put that in air quotes. This is what the new normal is. I don't know if I quite love it or I'm quite adjusting that well, but
I doubt it.
I mean, this is what it's gonna be.
Like
when you travel on
I want to go and get a new normal.
Yes, I want to revert to the old normal.
But it's scary because I think what it says to me is that when it comes to breakthrough cases, because these people have been fully vaccinated, you are not necessarily going to be as symptomatic as someone who hasn't. So unless you are on top of things and going to check yourself because you feel potentially that you could be, experiencing those symptoms, it means that when you are around people, particularly when your temperature doesn't necessarily go up if you test it, it's scary. It's scary.
Again, I guess we're on two sides of the fence here, because if we're supposed to be now living in this new norm, I think we need to put aside fear for a second and try to have reason. Okay, if you're fully vaccinated, you may get COVID, yes, but at least you're not going to have those extreme symptoms, and the chances of you dying are not that bad. So, I mean, it's the same on a plane. Of course, you're tested. For most countries, you have to produce a negative test 24 hours to sometimes 3 days. So it's very highly likely that you could be on a plane sitting next to someone who has COVID.
And that's the point, and that's the scary part about it. So the essence of the story, I guess, the takeaway is that we should really just be vigilant. Enforce the protocols, as you said, it's about reason. So we have to progress anyway, let the countries move forward, get back to as normal is.
Yes.
But take care of yourself, remember to mask up.
And take care of each other.
And be socially distant. She's not doing that. All right, we'll be back for more Good Morning SKN right after this.
You're watching Good Morning SKN with Mimi Armstrong and Jamie Morris, live on Studio 327.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Hey, my friend, what going on?
Not a thing. I just here cooling under this tree, about to eat a mango or two.
Where you get mango from all now?
Boy, Auntie Rose bring me some mango this morning.
Oh, gosh. What you hit me for?
You give me something to put on?
Girl, you can't just come tempting me with these juicy round pally mangoes and expect me not to want some.
Just because something looks appealing and you want it, doesn't mean you are entitled to it and that you should touch or take it. Your mother ain't teach you manners. Ask for consent first before you touch up the mango them.
But why ask? And if it's dear, just take it. Why ask?
Simple. If it is mine and you ain't asked for it, it is called, wait for it, stealing.
That's true. My bad. Okay. May I please have some mangoes?
I don't know. After that spectacle, I ain't sure I want to give you any.
You see that? But I ask.
Just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give. It is still my mangoes.
So what you tell me ask for then?
Because consent is everything. Had you asked first, I would have been more inclined to give you one. And just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give you. You got it?
Okay, I got it. Now, may I please have some mangoes?
Only because you're my friend and I like you. But that still don't mean you're entitled to it.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Good. Don't leave your mango skin on the ground, eh?
If you understand the importance of asking for someone's consent for a mango, then it shouldn't be too hard to understand consent when it comes to sex. The power of consent is everything. Ask first. If you or a friend has been sexually assaulted, please call 465-5000 for the Counseling Center.
This message was brought to you by No Judgment SKN and sponsored by the Basic Needs Trust Fund, the Department of Gender Affairs, and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Back to Good Morning SKN. Yesterday, we spoke with Chanel Charles, Senior Gender Officer at the Department of Gender Affairs. She shared with us the status of domestic violence here in St. Kitts and Nevis. In addition to that, she also shared with us ways in which we can help to spread awareness against this pressing issue. Now, following up with the 16 Days Against Gender-Based Violence, we have the founder of the Garden of Rebirth here with us today. It's an empowerment center that houses persons who are victims of gender-based violence, which I know because we've discussed it before. It is our pleasure to introduce to you Ms. Etsu Bradshaw-Keynes, who will share with us more about the local empowerment center and everything else that she's been up to.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. I am elated to be here this early in the morning. Yes. But I know this is so meaningful.
Yes.
So that's why you could get me up out of bed.
Absolutely.
Right. I go to bed very late. I'm up every night until the wee hours in the morning.
Well, that's
I'm working on this same empowerment center. Yes. By now I'm sure and I hope that everybody in reach of my voice knows about Garden of Rebirth. And I know I heard you say that you knew about it.
Of course, we discussed it.
It's been a work, and still is a work in progress. I came up with this idea in 2014. Mm-hmm. I served as the Director of Gender Affairs, so I know Chanel very well. And I was afforded the opportunity to represent St. Kitts in Taiwan. And of course, I visited a center there called Garden of Hope. And Garden of Hope is the model that I'm following. Mm-hmm. It's one of the top models in the world. Mm-hmm. So I went in there and got very nosy. The only thing I wasn't allowed to do is to actually see the victims. I did see a few peeping through behind the curtains, but I'm sure they got fed up of me. But I came back to St. Kitts. And the first thing I did was I called my family and I said, I just had an experience. And we have this home that is a family home. I know my children are not going to come back here to live anytime soon. We never can tell what's going to happen in the future. But I said, we have this home and I'm tired of renting it. And if we're going to have persons live in it almost free, why not use it for a worthy cause? And so I asked my family to come up with a name. I said, but it has to be Garden of something. Mm-hmm. 2 reasons, Garden of Hope, and also the owner of that home, which was my grandmother, God bless her soul, Mrs. Mary Jane Francis. I'm a product of her upbringing. She always had a garden, a beautiful garden, and I'm proud to say at every Easter, one of her lilies still springs up. And there's another plant that I refuse to have anybody remove that she would have put there before she died in 1993. That tells you how long. So her spirit is still there. Mm-hmm. And 2015, I sat down, and I hope I'm not divulging a lot here, but I'm telling the truth.
Yes.
I sat down and I got copies of various documents from different organizations to use as models for me to be able to register Garden of Rebirth by myself without the help of an attorney. Now I hear you have to have an attorney, but I do have an attorney on my board, so she keeps me straight. And I applied, we were registered, 2015. at that time I was teaching, and I was still worrying about how could I sustain this big project, because that's the main thing, sustainability. We hear the UN talk about the sustainable development goals.
Right.
Anything is sustainability.
Right,
To be able, because many times we come up with big projects, great ideas, and then unfortunately it's not sustained. And no, it's not because we're inept or incompetent, it's because the funds are not there.
Correct.
So, and I'm a person who digs. I dig.
We can tell.
I dig.
You're quite resourceful.
So I was able to get myself a scholarship at UWI to be trained as the manager of an NGO. So I got all of the knowledge, and of course, the big challenge is always, how do you sustain your NGO? So I reached out for a grant, my very first grant. And of course, I went in and I said, hey, I have this center that I want to get some money for, thinking I could get money to fix up the building and money. And my ladies here, and I tell everybody that I surround myself with young professionals, ladies or men, and I have one sitting right here, because we talk together, and I was always calling him math, but now we're here with something else, you know.
Right.
And I reached out and I said, I want to do this, and the first thing they said to me was, when I'm in St. Kitts, Miss Bracha. Sometimes I get afraid that my husband might say, you don't want my name anymore, but it's okay. Miss Bracha, you can't get money to fix a building. But Miss Bracha, you could get money. Look at this the environmental issues. Think about energy.
That is exactly where we're going to pick up when we return from this break. More with Ms. Bracha Kane. So I'm going to add that now. When we come back, stay tuned.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Check me area code, direct me area code. Anywhere me go, you know me touch the road like this, touch up the road like this, touch up the place like this, touch up the stage like this, like this. Come rep your place, rep your flag, where you from, who you are. The world is a stage, so showcase like a star. You little but we digging that we come from far. Let me take it to the world, so I carry us down. So we roll, yeah, that's how we roll, yeah. High performance anytime we touch the road, yeah, that's how we roll.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, hover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the doorway or any exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that because you might get in and poof, power gone and you're stuck in that box without air. Take cover under a strong table or a bed or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drops and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
You're watching Good Morning SKN with Mimi Armstrong and Jamie Morris, live on Studio 327.
Good morning, SKN, and we're back with Etsu. Is that fine for me to call you Etsu since we're family now? Yes, of course. Garden of Rebirth. And you touched a little bit on the environment. So first, I would like to start off by congratulating you on winning the Energy Globe Award. I know over 180 countries submitted projects to address environmental issues, and you won.
Yes.
From our tiny little island. So
tell us about
that.
We're small, we're tiny, whatever you want to say, but we're talawa.
Right.
We're not easy.
Right. So tell us about the project that you submitted.
Okay. You know, I had to go back into my emails to find out, Etsu, because people are asking me, how did you know about it? And I'm like, let me go back. And I found where these people, don't know them from God knows where,
right.
From Austria. They wrote me, said they heard about me.
Wow.
So, and everything I do, I have to say, I go back to my family. Yeah. I am here alone in St. Kitts, but I have and I'm talking about blood family in the United States. I travel back and forth. And so I went back to that. I was reading the emails back and forth, and I said, people, look here, look at this. And my husband responded and said to me, oh, I know about that man, because he works in the hotel industry. And so he has met a lot of persons who come for conferences, etc. And he said, this is a great opportunity. And I said to the children, I need you here. I need you, because I could do this.
Myself, right.
And so, but knowing me, a lot of mouth, but I did it. And so I did the application, because I started by saying that when I applied for the grant, I approached it in that I could apply to transform the building, the structure, into a green home. And that grant, we have solar energy. I always say, boast and say, one of the top solar systems in St. Kitts and Nevis. I don't compete with the airport, but I'm saying
right.
yes. And everything we do there is energy efficient. We harvest water so that we are getting ready to, because nobody was there for a while, we have Stuart Laplace, who is going to be building our hydroponics garden, which I did get a grant for as well. So our thing is everything green, energy efficient, appliances, etc. So I went ahead and I wrote up the whole thing. Of course, I had to do some research. I had to present it very well. And I had to get some pictures. I was some pictures taken quickly so that I could submit. And that was on December 7th. So I went off to the States. I was up there for about 6 months, working on the center up there, because we have a board up there as well. We're registered there as a 501c3.
Oh, wow.
So that people can donate and write us off on their taxes. So we're, as I said, we're legit.
Yes,
you're
global.
Yes.
You're global.
And so, what was it, Tuesday or something? I went into my emails. And I saw this email, and I'm like, I started shaking. I'm not going to lie. I kid you not. I couldn't. I just started sending it out to persons. It's like, pinch me, tell me it's real. I didn't even eat that day. I couldn't do anything. And everybody's, persons, my family, everybody said, this is great. This is wonderful. You need to get the media on this. You need to get the media on this. And so I took a deep breath, and I started spreading the word. And I haven't gotten out of a cheer.
Since then.
Yes.
Right.
But it's not, I want to say, it's not all about me. It's all about the support I have, because, as I said, I have some ladies in the background. They don't want me to call their names, but they are behind me, and they push me. Some gentlemen as well, because see, I'm right here next to me.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Well, I want to know in our closing moments a little bit more about the services that you offer, and even before that, how can someone contact you or anyone at the center if they are in need of your services?
Okay. Persons can contact us, of course, because we do have a telephone, 668-6465. I have mine as well, but I don't hide it, 764-6465. I have hounded the telephone companies to get the 6465. I don't know what it means. I haven't played it yet. Hopefully one day, but don't go play it before me. I have some money for the center. But, and we also have an email. But let me explain exactly how we would like it to be done. And I know you spoke about gender. And I am one who I'm in for partnership. I am one who wants to ensure that all of the services. So what you would do is you would go to gender, call gender, and then gender will then refer them to us, because we want to make sure that all hands are on board. We don't just take women in to house them and that's it. The ministries have to do their job. They need to get their counseling, etc.
All right.
So it's a package deal.
Okay, perfect. So you got her contact information. Again, so much more questions I would love to ask you, but maybe we'll have to bring you on again, or maybe we should visit the home.
No, you can't.
No, we can't. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
very
sorry.
confidential.
Yes, I'm sorry.
We don't do pictures. We don't do visits.
Right, but we'll
Sorry.
definitely like to have you back. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back with more Good Morning SKN.
This is Good Morning SKN with Mimi and Jamie on Studio 327.
Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Shake. Drop to the ground and take a little cover under a table or strong furniture. Kneel. Bend your head close to your knees. Hold on to a table leg or desk, please. Hands. Behind your head, protect your neck with your arm. Face away from windows, you must understand. If you don't have a shelter to hang on to, remain in a place till the shaking's through now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Drop, cover and hold. Stay in control. Drop, cover and hold. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Wave tsunami, wave tsunami, wave tsunami. Move away from doorways, windows and shelves. Heavy objects to drop. You could damage yourself. Cabinet and bookcases may also fall. Light fixtures and objects mounted on the walls. And if caught outside, find an open space. Debris from buildings may fly in your face. Kneel or sit on the ground. Cover your head and remember every word that I say. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Drop, cover and hold. Stay in control. Drop, cover and hold. Don't panic. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Wave. Tsunami. Wave. Tsunami. Wave. Tsunami. Drop. Everybody now. Drop. I wanna see you now. Cover your head. Cover your head. Drop. Say everybody now. Tsunami. I want you put up all your hands. Tsunami. I want you put up all your flags. Tsunami. 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 Do not go home without permission. Stay and wait for help and instructions. Do not go down by the seat to watch the action. Just to talk about what has happened. In science lab, chemicals may drop. Exit only after shaking has stopped. Do not panic, everything will be fine. Don't use the phone line at this time. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Drop, cover and hold. Stay in control. Drop, cover and hold. Don't panic. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Wave. Tsunami. Wave. Tsunami. Wave. Tsunami.
It's been 6 months now and Glenn hasn't been working. His attitude has completely changed and he's been leaving the house every day for hours and liming with his friends and coming home drunk and causing confusion.
Gloria, this is what you cook today? This is not enough food for a big man like me.
But Glenn, it's been 6 months now. You haven't given me any money to shop for food.
Okay, So what you want me to do if my boss ain't call me out for work as yet?
Look for a different job now.
What you just said to me?
Get a next job.
What?
Help! Let me
Let
go!
go what? You just see what we happen. Let go what? Watch your mouth with me now.
Every day mom and dad fight. When are they going to stop?
Domestic violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, economical, and psychological. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
These teen boys nowadays get me so upset. I see these teen girls with their big bellies and you want to tell me y'all couldn't protect her and yourself? Come on. Now don't tell me no stupidness about you feel embarrassed about getting a pack of condoms or asking somebody for one. That ain't nothing to be ashamed about. You should be proud that you are making a wise decision, but you still have to abstain from having sex with someone under the age of consent. If your boys are pressuring you to have sex and you don't want to, then don't. You are in charge of your life, not them. I heard another one saying it's sweeter without a condom, but my granny always told me, no glove, no love. So let me tell you something. It's sweeter to have money in your pockets and not have to support a child at that young age. Before I say anything else, the best way to prevent teenage pregnancy is to abstain. In other words, no do it. Let me talk to the big men troubling underage girls.
Why you sleeping with your daughter? You not live clean. Your girl at 16, and your daughter at 13. So girl look me, but me no in that. Big man no deal with back pan back.
You understand where I'm coming from, right?
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
And we're back on Good Morning SKN. Books, one of the earliest entertainment mediums, played an essential role in most of our lives. They helped introduce us to the world of imagination where our brains paint pictures in our minds. Words that take us back in time, propel us to the future, and awaken our sensories. The world of authors has no age limit. Today, we have a special surprise. And trust me, when I tell you, when you find out more about her, you'll have a smile on your face, just like mine's right now. So all the way from Trinidad, Corinne Clark, and she is a book writer, a serial book writer then. Hi, Corinne, how are you?
I'm good.
You're on Good Morning SKN, so say hello to your Kittitian roots and your Kittitian family now.
Hi.
Hi, that's what we were looking for. So, Corinne, you are 5 years old?
6.
You are 6
You're
now.
6 now. Okay.
So you had a birthday recently. Awesome. And you are an author. You write books at 6 years old? That's so impressive. That's so good. So, which of the books is your favorite one?
Well, that would be actually the third one, Chronicles of Core and Gratitude Journal and Activity Book.
And why is it your favorite, Corinne?
Because it helps children to explore or express their emotions and give thanks for all the good stuff in their lives and just have fun and learn at the same time.
Oh, that's amazing. So you're saying that one is your favorite book. Tell us, how many books do you have at the age of 6? Because I'm so much times older than you are, and I have no books. You have three books.
3.
Right, and so do you plan to write more books?
Yeah, soon I'll have about 7.
Soon you have out 7. So there are 4 that you are working on right now. Corinne. Wow, so impressive. So tell me about your books. The first one, what was that about?
Fun activities with my family.
Like what? Can you tell me?
Baking.
Baking,
Yoga.
Yoga.
I make music. I'm a musician.
Oh, you're a musician. Okay.
I swim. And I it's been a while since I've painted, but yes, I paint.
She says it's been a while since she's painted.
So you are a master at everything.
It seems so.
About your books, but hey, is that a little doll in your hand? Is that? Yeah. What's her name? Coronette. Oh, so she looks a little like you. I would call her your sister, but I know she's not that. All right. So you do so many things. You told us about the first book with your family, and I have to ask, is that your dad with you?
Yes.
Yes? Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad. A familiar face.
Yes, how you doing? Nice
I'm
to see
good.
you.
I'm good. Dad is actually from St. Kitts, am I right?
Yes.
Yes, so we have. Yes, so we have
so
someone from the soil of St. Kitts and Nevis. I think we're in the same band. Maybe not at the same time.
Yes.
But you played in royalties, and that's where I know you're from.
So you must be so proud of your daughter and her accomplishments. Corinne. Yes.
Proud. So very proud.
So is it that?
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying Corinne has Corinne, I mean, even from a younger age, I've been into music for quite a while. So I mean, yes, there's been a little newspaper feature here or some TV time. But what Corinne has been doing is just mind blowing to both myself and my wife, her mother. So yeah, we're very proud of you, baby.
So is it that, I mean, she's just 5, she's just 6, sorry, and she already has 3 books. Is it that she jumped out of the womb wanting to be a writer?
Can you repeat that for me?
I was saying that she's just 6 years old. She already has 3 books. Is it that she jumped out of the womb wanting to be a writer?
Maybe, because her mom wants to be an author. So she actually beats her mom
beat
to
her mom
it.
to it.
All right. Well,
yeah, but she the age of 4, we did she did some series of Instagram lives. So here in Trinidad, they would have put together paid celebrities with young children, and they did reading over the lockdown period. So at 8 o'clock every night, someone else was on, reading to the children. So they asked Corinne to read. Back then, she had no books yet. So they asked Corinne to read. And after the second time, she was like, I want to write a book too, so I can read my own book. But we really didn't take her hard. I mean, yes, you want to write the book, right? So
and my mother didn't listen, and I got fed up about it, so I just got a paper, a chair, and some pencil and just started writing.
That's incredible, Corinne. That is so incredible. So, Corinne, we were talking about your first book. What about your second book? What was that about?
Book is Chronicles of Foreign Adventures in St. Kitts and Nevis, and it's about me doing fun activities with my family.
Yeah.
Some of the same in St. Kitts and Nevis. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Does that monkey have a name? I love his outfit, by the way. Did you name him? Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we seem to have lost that signal for the moment, so we'll take a very short break, and hopefully when we return, we'll have more with Corinne. More Good Morning SKN right after this. Stay tuned.
This is Good Morning SKN with Mimi and Jamie on Studio 327.
Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Shake. Drop to the ground and take a little cover under a table or strong furniture. Kneel. Bend your head close to your knees. Hold on to a table leg or desk, please. Hands. Behind your head, protect your neck with your arm. Face away from windows, you must understand. If you don't have a shelter to hang on to, remain in a place till the shaking's through now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Drop, cover and hold. Stay in control. Drop, cover and hold. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Wave tsunami, wave tsunami, wave tsunami. Move away from doorways, windows and shelves. Heavy objects to drop. You could damage yourself. Cabinet and bookcases may also fall. Light fixtures and objects mounted on the walls. And if caught outside, find an open space. Debris from buildings may fly in your face. Kneel or sit on the ground. Cover your head and remember every word that I say. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Drop, cover and hold. Stay in control. Drop, cover and hold. Don't panic. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Wave. Tsunami. Wave. Tsunami. Wave. Tsunami. Drop. Everybody now. Drop. I wanna see you now. Cover your head. Cover your head. Drop. Say everybody now. Tsunami. I want you put up all your hands. Tsunami. I want you put up all your flags. Tsunami. 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 Do not go home without permission. Stay and wait for help and instructions. Do not go down by the seat to watch the action. Just to talk about what has happened. In science lab, chemicals may drop. Exit only after shaking has stopped. Do not panic, everything will be fine. Don't use the phone line at this time. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Drop, cover and hold. Stay in control. Drop, cover and hold. Don't panic. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Wave tsunami. Wave tsunami. Wave tsunami.
You're watching Good Morning SKN with Mimi Armstrong and Jamie Morris, live on Studio 327.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Has anyone ever touched you here, here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Let's face it, most parents or guardians don't want to think about their teens having sex, let alone contemplate the possibility that they might get pregnant or get someone pregnant. Teenage pregnancy is a situation that involves female adolescents. A teenage female can be pregnant as early as age 12 or 13, although it is usually 14 and older. The fact that teenagers become pregnant is related to many factors. Here are some tips to decrease teen pregnancy. Teach teenagers comprehensive sex education. Target messages at teen boys, not just girls. Get the whole community involved. Encourage mentoring, parental involvement, and support. This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Back with Good Morning SKN, and we have our 6-year-old Corinne Clark, who is a multi-book writer. So first we're going to take a minute and we're going to watch a video from her book launch that she did in St. Kitts.
Hello everyone, my name is Corinne Clark. I am 5 years old and I am a Caribbean author from Trinidad and Tobago. My first book is named Chronicles of Corinne 7 Days of Fun, and it's about me doing fun activities that I do with my family. The next book is named Chronicles of Corinne Adventures in St. Kitts and Nevis. It's where I went to visit my relatives in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Hi. We're back. All right, so that was for your second book, was it?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. So can you tell us about your third book now, your last book? Can you tell us a bit about that one? All right, so I mean, it's a morning show, and in the morning, I like to have a moment to give thanks for certain things. So what are you thankful for today? You're also thankful for us being right here, right now?
Yes. No pressure.
No pressure at all. Okay, in your first book, you were saying that, it was talking about you having fun and doing some of the things. You were saying that you're a musician. Can you tell me about what instruments you play? Wow. I play the tambourine. Jamie, what do you play?
No, I'm just looking at her and I'm saying a 6-year-old who can actually say and understand the meaning of the word chronicles, and then who says after she plays the xylophone is incredible, Corinne. You are something else. So what do you have planned for? Wait a minute. I see a little girl behind you on a poster. Who's that supposed to be, Corinne? That is you. Oh my gosh. She looks, yes, exactly. I should have known that. Incredible. I need my glasses. I need my glasses today. All right. So what can you tell us, without giving away any secrets, what can you tell us, maybe your dad can help as well, about the new books that you are writing?
Well, the fourth book that I'm actually writing is actually in memory. It's Chronicles of Corinne in memory of my great grandmother.
Wow.
And I tell some children about my great grandmother who passed away, and I want them to honor her memory.
That is incredible, Corinne.
That's so beautiful. So, Ken, we're almost at the end of this segment, and you've been amazing. So it's Christmas time and Parang time in St. Kitts, Parang time in Trinidad. So can you tell us, what are your plans for the season? I know you're going to be on break from school. It's time for gifts, having time with your friends and family. What are you going to do?
I'm actually going to invite some family over that I haven't been with too often.
Mm-hmm.
What about the pop-up shops? The pop-up shops plan?
Oh yeah, so I'm going to a pop-up shop on December the 18th.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, two of them. One in the morning at Napa, and one in the afternoon. What was that one?
I don't know.
That one is Green Label and on Fitch Street here in Trinidad.
Wait, Daddy, I've been there before.
Yeah, that's the same one. So she had the first pop-up.
So I'm actually having two pop-up shops on December the 18th.
Okay, so for those of us who are here in St. Kitts, where can we find your books? Where can we get a doll? How can we do that? Do you have a website?
What's the website?
It is www.chroniclesofcorinne.com.
All right. Oh, wow.
On Amazon as well.
And YouTube. Have some,
right?
Have some books.
And my grandmother and my grandfather actually have some books.
Awesome. All right, Corinne.
Just before we wrap up, I mean, we're actually planning to be in St. Kitts hopefully next month. So we'll share some details about any pop-ups that'll be happening then. But yeah, we're looking forward.
That sounds amazing.
Want stuff, we could we'll take orders before and so forth. So yeah, so we'll be there.
All right, perfect. It was so nice having you. You're locked into Good Morning SKN. We'll be right back with more fun stuff.
Bye, Corinne.
Bye.
Bye, Dad. Thank you.
These teen boys nowadays get me so upset. I see these teen girls with their big bellies, and you want to tell me y'all couldn't protect her and yourself? Come on. Now don't tell me no stupidness about you feel embarrassed about getting a pack of condoms or asking somebody for one. That ain't nothing to be ashamed about. You should be proud that you are making a wise decision, but you still have to abstain from having sex with someone under the age of consent. If your boys are pressuring you to have sex and you don't want to, then don't. You are in charge of your life, not them. I heard another one saying it's sweeter without a condom. But my granny always told me, no glove, no love. So let me tell you something. It's sweeter to have money in your pockets and not have to support a child at that young age. Before I say anything else, the best way to prevent teenage pregnancy is to abstain. In other words, no do it. Let me talk to the big men troubling underage girls.
Why you sleeping with your daughter? You not live clean. Your girl at 16, and your daughter at 13. So girl a look me, but me know inna that. Big man no deal with back pamba.
You understand where I'm coming from, right?
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
It's been 6 months now and Glenn hasn't been working. His attitude has completely changed and he's been leaving the house every day for hours and liming with his friends and coming home drunk and causing confusion.
Gloria, this is what you cook today? This is not enough food for a big man like me.
But Glenn, it's been 6 months now. You haven't given me any money to shop for food.
Okay, so what you want me to do if my boss ain't called me out for work as yet?
Look for a different job now.
What you just said to me?
Get a next job.
What?
Help! Let me go!
Let go what? Yeah, let's see what we got. Let go what? Watch your mouth with me now.
The weekend mom and dad fight. When are they going to stop?
Domestic violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, economical, and psychological. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Check me area code, direct me area code. Anywhere me go, you know me touch the road like this, touch up the road like this, touch up the place like this, touch up the stage like this. Come rep your place, rep your flag, where you from, who you are. The world is a stage, so showcase like a star. You little up, we begin that we come from far. Let me take it to the world, so I carry on. So we roll, yeah. High performance anytime we touch the road, yeah. That's how we roll.
You are watching Good Morning SKN with Mimi Armstrong and Jamie Morris, live on Studio 327.
COVID-19. Now, I know that name has probably become the most annoying thing you've heard these last few years. Trust me, we understand. One of the most unforgettable experiences during this pandemic was the global lockdown. Streets empty, parking lots vacant. It truly felt like we were in the long-anticipated apocalypse. Yes, I Am Legend type stuff we're talking about.
Right.
If we're being honest. But being trapped inside for so long changed a lot of us. And some for the better, and others, well, not so much. The announcement of the first pandemic in this century might add, really took a toll on many of us in terms of mental health. And I know that's true. Everything that was normal to us was abruptly removed from our lives. We were forced to rethink the way that we did everything. And it wreaked havoc on our mental health. It wreaked havoc on those of us who were in school and got upset. It wreaked havoc on everybody. So this morning, we have with us, by way of hopefully a solution to all of the things that I just described, a Dentricia Blanchett of Be Well and Bloom to help guide us to how we can keep up with our mental health during the long pandemic. Welcome, Dentricia.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right, so the conversation on mental health is nothing new, but particularly in the pandemic, we've tended to focus a little more on that. And I'm curious to know if, in your estimation, that has to do with the isolation that we experienced, among other changes.
Yeah, well, we all have mental health, and I think the pandemic really escalated the need for us to take care of our mental health, yeah? So we saw a lot of anxiety coming forth, we saw isolation, we saw grief, we saw it online, we saw it in our families. It's very tough, and we're still in the pandemic, so we're not out.
Right.
And so we still have to adjust, and it has affected us greatly. And it's important for us to just do some intentional things to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. So it's not that anything is wrong with us because we are feeling a bit overwhelmed or sad or a bit anxious or restless. It just means that we're natural, we're human, and we're in a very stressful time, even though we're like in 2 years now, we're 2 years into this thing.
Yeah.
So,
It feels like 5.
we have to give ourselves some grace because
Right.
it's a truly stressful time, even now. Yeah.
Right. So can you tell us what are some of the signs that we could spot in ourselves and maybe even in others to tell whether our mental health is on the decline?
Yeah, so all of us, we're on a mental health continuum. So there are times where we're doing okay, we're thinking positively, we can do our task really well, we're amicable with persons. That's when we're on the good side of the mental health continuum, yeah? And then there are times when we are struggling. We have a hard time waking up, we are restless, we're struggling to focus, we're struggling to concentrate, we're very irritable, we have a hard time eating, and that is, but we're still living, we're functioning okay, but we know that we're struggling.
Yeah.
And then that's when we're in the middle of that mental health continuum. And then let's say we have a hard time going to work, or we have a hard time in our relationships. It's really impacting our everyday lives. That is when we need to see a mental health practitioner or a therapist, because we need that extra support, because it's severe. It's on the severe side of the mental health continuum. So when you see that it's getting in the way of your everyday life, of what is normal for you, because normal looks different for all of us, that is when you say, hey, I need some additional help.
You need some backup here.
You need some backup, because let's say you can't sleep, you may need some magnesium. That's physical, yeah? So when it's emotional and it's mental, you want to make sure that you're getting that help as well, whether it's medicine, whether it's talk therapy or group support.
Well, in listening to you speak, particularly knowing that we're talking to Petitions and Divisions this morning, and the stigma that is associated locally with mental health, I imagine that that is a barrier that you've had to overcome to even get people to the point where they become aware of its importance.
Yeah.
How has that struggle been?
Sure. So Be Well and Bloom, we cater to young persons, so persons 34 and under. And what I've realized is that young persons, they normalize speaking about their mental health. They're very self-aware. They are not afraid to say, I'm going to therapy, or my therapist said this, or I've done this meditation, I'm doing this deep breathing exercise. It's really the more mature generation where there is that negative connotation. There is that fear, that stigma that we've seen for a very long time. And so we cater to the persons who are okay with speaking about and taking care of their mental health. And there are practitioners on the island who take care of the older generation that might be hesitant to even go to help. They might think, maybe I should just go to my pastor, and that might be okay. Maybe I should just pray about it, and that will be okay. So it's harder for that generation, and that's normal. But I think when we recognize the signs, it's impacting my everyday life, I might need additional help. And as you said, I might need backup.
Right. So on that note, we're going to take a short commercial break. We're here with Dentricia from Be Well and Bloom, talking about mental health. Again, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
You're watching Good Morning SKN with Mimi Armstrong and Jamie Morris, live on Studio 327.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Good morning, SKN. We are talking with Dentrici Blanchett of Be Well and Bloom all about mental health. I'm breathing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do that when I'm stressed, but I'm not sure I'm doing it correctly.
Yeah.
So I need you to
Yeah.
teach Mimi and me about the deep breathing exercises
Yes,
that we can engage
that we
in
need
to
right
de-stress.
now.
Sure. So there's no wrong way to breathe, you know, because that might be a judgmental statement. I don't know how to breathe. There's a wrong way to breathe. But we can do an exercise, yeah? So you want to sit up, and you want to breathe in, and you hold for 4, and you release for 8.
That felt good.
Yeah, that felt really good. You want to do it one more time? So we breathe in and we hold for 4. And we release for 8. And when you're doing this, you may want to do it 5 times, you want to do it 3 times around, 3 rounds, and it helps to calm you down. Sometimes your thoughts are all over the place, you're anxious, you feel it in your body. You want to calm down your body, calm down your nervous system so that you can make smart decisions, you can speak well, you can articulate, you know, easily, and you can at least be okay to make a smart decision, yeah?
Right.
So you can do it anytime. You can do it before you work, you can do it during the break, so you can do it lunchtime, in your car before you enter the house. You can do your deep breathing at any time. And then sometimes you may want to just focus your mind. So we speak a lot about mindfulness. So when we're thinking about, I'm having a hard time focusing, what are 3 things I see, 3 things I hear, 3 things I can touch to kind of bring you back to present, to bring you back to the center? That helps you, because sometimes when you have anxiety and depression, your mind drifts. So you want to stay in the present, even if the present is not perfect or ideal. You want to at least stay present so that you're not going all over the place, yeah?
Right. So you spoke about the older generation and
I didn't mean older, mature.
Mature generation.
Technically, I'm in that bracket because I'm not 34. So let's hear what you have to say about
So
it.
we spoke about the mature generation, this generation that we're in right now, but what about the school-age kids? I think that it must have been such a stressful experience for them, being in school, being out of school, even though school is on. If you have a little cough, you're being sent home. How do you think the pandemic has affected them? And again, what can we do as the elders or as the parents right now to make sure that our kids are doing okay?
Yeah, our babies are going through a rough time, and you know, they've had to adjust. Children are generally resilient. Yeah, they can bounce back very easily, even after traumatic experiences. But we want to make sure that we're giving them that space to articulate or to vent or to release, express themselves. I know in St. Kitts we tell you, hush your mouth, don't talk in the house. But it's important because they're going through so many changes that we give them a time to just talk it out, whether it's when you're in the car, you're at the table eating, or you're just in the KFC line, you have them talk it out, and then you want to have them release that energy through activities. Now, we know our children are always on their devices. We want to make sure that they are physically active to release, and then assure them with coping statements. This is a tough time, but we're going to get through it. those statements really help
I need
children.
those statements.
Yeah, because they need that level of safety, that sense of safety that a parent or a guardian or someone in the community can provide them. Because it's a lot, and they're looking at us, how we are coping, and they're modeling us. So when we model well, we may not have the right things to say. They pick up on those, and they model those as well with their friends or their teachers or whatever environment they find themselves in.
In our previous segment, we interviewed 5-year-old Corinne.
I know.
And one of the things that she said, and I noted it, she expressed her emotion. She was writing about her emotions.
Yeah.
So hearing you say that it's important to express, that just really makes me even more appreciative of people like you who are working with all of us to be expressive and communicative. What can you tell us about Be Well and Bloom that you haven't told us already?
Yeah, well, you know, we're still working, we're still doing the work, we're still referring young persons on St. Kitts to individual therapists. We're supporting where we can. Our young persons are struggling. They may look good on the gram, they may look good on social media, but they're struggling. They're really, really struggling. And so we're helping them. But during the holidays, we have a holiday donation drive. We're giving 15 young moms the opportunity to find some joy in the madness. You know, a lot of persons are hurting. And so we're giving 15 young moms to the Single Mothers Network, ran by Daniela Hodge, care packages with the basics, feminine products, just foods, because a lot of people don't have the basics during this time.
Great.
And so we have committed to 15. And so if persons are interested, they can reach out to us. And if there's more,
How do they reach you though?
660-9023, or you can message us at Be Well and Bloom. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, or you can find me, Dentricia. My profile might be private, but you can message me. And then we can connect about how you can give a mom just some sense of joy during this very difficult time.
Thank you so much, Ms. Blanchett. I wish we had more time to talk.
I wish too.
It seems that it goes very quickly. Nonetheless, your information was very helpful. Your breathing exercises appreciated so much.
Yes.
More Good Morning SKN right after this. Stay tuned.
I going out tonight. I got a hot date. He older than me, but I don't care. I like what he telling me. He say I look sweet and ting. What? You want me go home with him? Nice. Boy, I wonder if I'm ready for this. I notice he ain't got a condom, but I gonna go ahead, see? He might think me ain't like him or trust him. Plus, this my first time. Nothing gonna happen to me. Lord, how could I let this happen? I ain't ready for no child. Who gonna support me and my child? My man gone jail and mommy and daddy said they ain't gonna help. I all on my own. How could I be so careless? I wish I could go back to that now. But my education on hold. How could I let this happen? Don't let this happen to you. Contact the Department of Gender Affairs to find out about confidential offices and personnel available to answer questions about your sexuality or pre- or postnatal concerns.
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Hey, my friend, what going on?
Not a thing. I just here cooling under this tree, about to eat a mango or two.
Where you get mango from all now?
Boy, Auntie Rose bring me some mango this morning.
Oh, gosh. What you hit me for?
You give me something to put on?
Girl, you can't just come tempting me with these juicy round pally mangoes and expect me not to want some.
Just because something looks appealing and you want it, doesn't mean you are entitled to it and that you should touch or take it. Your mother ain't teach you manners. Ask for consent first before you touch up the mango them.
But why ask? And if it's dear, it's dear. Just take it. Why ask?
Simple. If it is mine and you ain't asked for it, it is called, wait for it, stealing.
That's true. My bad. Okay. May I please have some mangoes?
I don't know. After that spectacle, I ain't sure I want to give you any.
You see that? But I ask.
Just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give. It is still my mangoes.
So what you tell me ask for then?
Because consent is everything. Had you asked first, I would have been more inclined to give you one. And just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give you. You got it?
Okay, I got it. Now, may I please have some mangoes?
Only because you're my friend and I like you. But that still don't mean you're entitled to it.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Good. Don't leave your mango skin on the ground, eh?
If you understand the importance of asking for someone's consent for a mango, then it shouldn't be too hard to understand consent when it comes to sex. The power of consent is everything. Ask first. If you or a friend has been sexually assaulted, please call 465-5000 for the Counseling Center.
This message was brought to you by No Judgment SKN and sponsored by the Basic Needs Trust Fund, the Department of Gender Affairs, and the Caribbean Development Bank.
We're back on Good Morning SKN. You might be wondering why we've set the breakfast table out. Well, Mimi and I are going to be talking about tea.
Yes.
Now that's a different connotation when we're watching reality shows. You know what they're saying? They're dishing some tea. Not that kind of tea,
Not that
sorry.
kind of tea
The
today.
breakfast kind of tea. And
Right.
so we have on display quite a few things to remind you of what it's like. Maybe when you're having breakfast with someone that you like. Aw. All right. Now, Mimi, what do you do for breakfast? What tea is your favorite?
Okay, I am a tea person, not a tea connoisseur, but I love bush tea. Like, so none of these are not my kind of thing. Yes, bush tea is my tea. Lemongrass is actually my favorite, and I've been having some lemongrass already for the morning.
You've been having some lemon. So that's what's in your cup today. Okay.
Just a shot of whiskey.
Just
but
a
yeah,
shot. She's joking, guys. All right. So this, I'm going to make you tea. At least I'm going to try, because somehow someone assumed that I make myself tea. And I am one of those terrible people who doesn't do that.
Oh, you don't make tea?
You know what I have for tea?
What do you have for tea?
I'm going to try your version of tea, but perhaps
Or
you
are
might
you a
want to try
coffee person?
mine. Actually,
Mhm.
very recently, I would say this week, I've been having pure peppermint, which is kind of cool. I like the soothing nature of it, since we just had that segment on mental health. It
Yes.
tends to soothe. you.
Well,
Exactly.
interestingly enough, for lemongrass, I know lemongrass helps to fight depression and anxiety. So maybe that's why I'm so cool and calm in the morning. It also helps with digestion. It helps fight off bacteria and inflammation. So it's really, really good for you at morning. Well, any time of the day, actually.
This is so interesting to me that we're having tea talk. So I said I was going to make you something,
Yes.
right? I'm not sure I want to make you what you like.
Okay, you're making
And that's
different.
actually kind of weird, because I'm going to try yours. I want you to try mine.
Okay.
So, and while you're making tea, Mimi, what is it that you do? Are you one of those people who rushes out of the house because you've got a million and one things to do? Or do you just sit, breathe, take a moment for yourself in the morning? Is there time anymore to do that?
Preferably, I love when I could relax and play some music. This morning I was listening to Gladys Knight.
You listen. Do you know who Gladys Knight is?
Yes,
Come on.
I know
Mimi?
who Gladys
Really?
Knight. Yes, I know who Gladys
Really?
Knight. So this morning I was listening to Gladys Knight and I was able to make my tea calmly and relaxed. I had cinnamon tea this morning, actually. So yeah.
Cinnamon tea is
Yeah.
what you had this morning.
Yeah.
And now you're having. What's in that cup over there? Ah, yes. Awesome. So, the conversation that we have in the mornings while we're having breakfast.
Mhm.
Typically, I don't have time anymore to have breakfast. I don't know how many of our viewers do. I wish that we did, but as we are very much aware, a lot of our office spaces are now outfitted with kitchens. I guess maybe because they want us here longer. I don't
Earlier.
know, or earlier, or on
Maybe.
time, but we'll see.
I feel like
One
maybe
sugar
you
or
should
two?
like it. Maybe like 3.
What? No, that makes you, I was going to say that makes you hyper.
Thank you. I might need the energy.
Alrighty,
Thank you.
there we go.
Are we ready for a taste test?
Are you ready? Oh, I'm almost spilling the sugar. Luckily, it's not the tea.
Right.
All right, so, like
so
I
do you,
said,
you said you normally rush out of the house.
I rush out
in
of the
morning?
house, and I'm one of those people. I apologize because this is a tea segment. I don't usually have tea.
It's good. There's a first for everything.
Do you want to know what I have? I'm going to
Tell
confess,
us-
and it
tell us
begins
what
with
you
a
have.
C. I have Coca-Cola. It's
You
in
have
a bottle,
Coca-Cola at morning.
and I am rushing out of that house.
Jamie, come
And
on.
if I can pick it up, we're not having tea. We're having something that's easy to transport.
No, Jamie, no.
So, this is a first for me because
Right.
not only do I get to have tea with petitions and divisions watching me, I get to say cheers to you,
Cheers.
and hopefully you can swallow.
Let's see. Let's give it a go.
Oh, all this good stuff right in here. All of
Yeah,
that.
you might have had
All
to
of
let
that.
it sit for a little bit longer.
All
You may
of
not
that.
get the true essence of it, but
Yeah,
you're off to
well-
a good start. You're
Oh.
off to a good start.
Mm. Actually, I can taste the flavors coming out already.
You can.
Yeah.
Are
And
you feeling the stress leaving your
of
body?
course, I just did. It smells really
Yes.
authentically Kittition.
Yes.
In the vision.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
I see why we like it.
Right. You
Awesome.
actually have some soursop in there too, and soursop also helps to fight cancer.
Dr. Mimi in the house.
Yeah. Come on. But this is good too. Whatever. I mean.
Yes.
Whatever this is
Nescafe.
good too. I'm not gonna trade my bush tea for this, but this is a good, nice little mix-up. So guys, in the comments, can you tell us what you're drinking for breakfast? What are you having? I hope you're not having Coca-Cola like my dear friend Jamie. Please let us know.
But if
what
you
you're
do, you can let us know too, because we're equal here in this space, right? We want to know what you're doing. All
Right.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of Loosen Up, and please don't ask Mimi what the tea tasted like in the comments. Bye.
This is Good Morning SKN with Mimi and Jamie on Studio 327.
Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Shake. Shake. Drop to the ground and take a little cover under a table or strong furniture. Kneel. Bend your head close to your knees. Hold on to a table leg or desk, please. Hands. Hang your head protect your neck with your arm. Face away from windows, you must understand. If you don't have a shelter to hang on to, remain in a place till the shaking's through now. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Drop, cover and hold, stay in control. Drop, cover and hold. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Wave tsunami, wave tsunami, wave tsunami. Move away from doorways, windows and shelves. Heavy objects to drop, you could damage yourself. Cabinet and bookcases may also fall. Like fixtures and objects mounted on the walls. And if caught outside, find an open space. Debris from buildings may fly in your face. Kneel or sit on the ground, cover your head and remember every word that I said. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Drop, cover and hold, stay in control. Drop, cover and hold. Don't panic. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Tsunami, tsunami, tsunami. Drop. Everybody now. Drop. I wanna see you now. Cover your head, cover your head. Drop. Say everybody now. Tsunami. I want you put up all your hands. Tsunami. I want you put up all your flags. Tsunami. 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 Do not go home without permission. Stay and wait for help and instructions. Do not go down by the seat to watch the action. Just to talk about what has happened. In science lab, chemicals may drop. Exit only after shaking has stopped. Do not panic, everything will be fine. Don't use the phone line at this time. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Drop, cover and hold, stay in control. Drop, cover and hold. Don't panic. Shake. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Let me see you shake like earthquake now. Tsunami, tsunami, tsunami.
And we're back on Good Morning SKN. We are going to hear a poem that I'm sure will make a lot of you who are unfortunately not in St. Kitts and Nevis or in a tropical island right now miss us even more. So the poem that I am going to read is Leaving the Island by Linda Hastan. And it begins. We roll up rugs and strip the beds by rote. Summer expires as it is done before. The ferry is no simple pleasure boat. Nor are we simply cargo, though we float. Alongside heavy trucks, their stink and roar, we'll roll up rugs and strip the beds by rote. This bit of land, whose lines the glaciers wrote, becomes the muse of memory once more. The ferry is no simple pleasure boat. I'll trade my swimsuit for a woolen coat. The torch of autumn has but small allure. We'll roll up the rugs and strip the beds by rote. The absences these empty shells denote suggest the losses winter has in store. The ferry is no simple pleasure boat. The songs of summer dwindle to one note. The foghorns blast, which drowns this closing door. We rolled up rugs and stripped the beds by rote. The ferry is no simple pleasure boat. Leaving the Island by Linda Hastan.
Great job, Jamie.
Who knew I was a poet? I certainly did.
So are you a poet? Have you written anything?
What I write, I generally don't release poems.
Why?
I don't write melodies for songs, I do, but I selected this particular poem because it talked about leaving the island, and I know that some of our viewers, a lot of our viewers are probably Kittitians and Divisions.
Yeah.
But they're no longer here living in St. Kitts and Nevis, and this
Right.
time of year, it's very cold. They're trading the heat and the warmth for
Winter jackets.
I don't want to say groggy winter or snow or those cold things and heavy coats, but really that's what it is. So I'm sorry if I made you jealous. It was not my intent.
I'm not sorry. Restrictions are released, so you can come.
I am so sorry, but really that was part of my plan, to make sure that you long to be home and your longing leads you back here to the shores of St. Kitts and Nevis. So how did I do?
You did great. I think you did. It really resonated. Yes, it did. Have you ever spent a Christmas away from home?
Oh, I had some pictures to show you guys before. I think I talked about snow yesterday. So yeah, I have spent a Christmas away from home. I actually sat on Santa's lap when I was 6 in Canada and gave him my
long
wish.
list.
I still didn't get it, but anyway, I guess he can't find my house without the chimney. But we'll see. Anyway, that is the end of this segment. Please stay tuned for more Good Morning SKN. We'll be back right after this.
Check me area code, direct me area code. Anywhere me go, you know me touch the road like this, touch up the road like this, touch up the place like this, touch up the stage like this, like this. Come rep your place, rep your flag, where you from, who you are. The world is a stage, so showcase like a star. You little but we digging that we come from far. Let me take it to the world, so like a real star. So we roll, yeah. High performance anytime we touch the road, yeah. That's how we roll.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Hey, my friend, what going on?
Not a thing. I just here cooling under this tree, about to eat a mango or two.
Where you get mango from all now?
Boy, Auntie Rose bring me some mango this morning.
Oh, gosh. What you hit me for?
You give me something to put on?
Girl, you can't just come tempting me with these juicy round pally mangoes and expect me not to want some.
Just because something looks appealing and you want it, doesn't mean you're entitled to it and that you should touch or take it. Your mother ain't teach you manners. Ask for consent first before you touch up the mango them.
But why ask? And if it's dear, it's dear. Just take it. Why ask?
Simple. If it is mine and you ain't asked for it, it is called, wait for it, stealing.
That's true. My bad. Okay. May I please have some mangoes?
I don't know. After that spectacle, I ain't sure I want to give you any.
You see that? But I ask.
Just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give. It is still my mangoes.
So what you tell me ask for then?
Because consent is everything. Had you asked first, I would have been more inclined to give you one. And just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give you. You got it?
Okay, I got it. Now, may I please have some mangoes?
Only because you're my friend and I like you. But that still don't mean you're entitled to it.
Okay, I get it.
Good. Don't leave your mango skin on the ground, eh?
If you understand the importance of asking for someone's consent for a mango, then it shouldn't be too hard to understand consent when it comes to sex. The power of consent is everything. Ask first. If you or a friend has been sexually assaulted, please call 465-5000 for the counseling center.
This message was brought to you by No Judgment SKN and sponsored by the Basic Needs Trust Fund, the Department of Gender Affairs, and the Caribbean Development Bank.
And we are back with Good Morning SKN, and this is our second to last. So we kind of leave the best for last, maybe? We're back with expressions, and we're going to play a short video. So audience, feel free to watch, dance, sing with us. We're going to show you a short video, and we'll be right back.
No, 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 no. Yo, Jazzy. Yo, Tuba. Let's go. One, two, bass. One man is sugar. One man is sugar, no. One man is sugar. Tell you that we want it back, no. One man is sugar. One man is sugar, no. One man is sugar. Tell you that. Let's go, let's go. I could have never do without me sugar. And do it. No time. Pan with the loss. If you could have made my 1971 when the silver them used to run the jam, the band would tell me, welcome sugar. Let's go, let's go.
JTS, who had the winning song for this year's song competition, Want Back the Sugar.
Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back.
So we're here with, I mean, these people don't need any introduction, but we'll have them introduce themselves for us.
Good morning. Stickle here.
Yeah, good morning, Jasbo, representing JTS.
Right.
All right.
Jasbo's alias, by the way, because when I saw this guy come into the studio, I was like, yo, I knew this guy as a student, so that's good. I like the name though, represent the J's.
Yep.
Good stuff, man. Love the video.
Yeah.
Very high energy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about your music. How did you get into this? Because that's really what I want to know.
Well, I would say the pandemic changed a lot of things, eh?
Mm-hmm.
You had a lot of time to think, a lot of time to advance, improve. As most people know, I was a part of Smarlax, and they didn't have no keyboardists at the time. I was trying to get my boy here, Sticker, into it, but unfortunately it didn't happen, so we decided to try our thing, and here we are today, getting it rolling and
Basically, to elaborate a little bit, basically, the pandemic basically changed the game when it comes to the bands here, where the full bands couldn't play.
Right.
So you find some of the vocalists, and in our situation, the keyboardists, guys, that's the master control.
Right.
So that's how we basically figure, let's start like this, like push you. I'm gonna be the person, the controller, and he always got a wingman. Tubab, who is not yet.
Tubab, that's the one who was in the clown costume.
The masquerade costume.
Yeah, the masquerade costume.
JTS. So like the T is missing.
Right.
Yeah, so they do songs together over the years. They sing together since school.
Right.
I know,
exactly.
Right.
So that was one person with it too.
Right.
And then, coming on over the weeks, we realized what we had, and it was like we need to build on it somehow. So we add 2 more people to the team, and we just make the whole team full.
Awesome.
To have a full band.
Right.
But it's still JTS.
All right.
Yeah.
So tell us about this winning song. Like, it's been getting a lot of traction for winning, I think, the first ever Carnival song competition.
Yeah, right.
So what inspired writing the song Want Back the Sugar?
Well, we actually saw the notice with the competition coming up.
So you wrote the song especially for the competition?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. We come together.
Yeah, we saw the post, and like, I think I was the one to send in the chat to show them. I said, yeah, see this? And he was like, yeah, I was like, yo. You know, known as a producer as well.
Yes.
I'm a dude who got beats just they put on, and I was like, I got a right beat for this, you know. Something festive. I got it there, make it since like 2019. Yeah, just there in the archive. So while I was playing the beat to like go send them, I was looking for the beat, so I played. In my head now I was like, man, but sugar. Man, but you understand we're going on through the pandemic. We ain't
had the sugar for a while.
And it's sugar mass, you know what I mean? And at the same time, living in the country, you know, you got a cane field, so and we had a sugar industry, so like, you could mean two things, you know. Right. But the sugar, I said, okay. I was like, yo, fellas, this the idea I got, this the beat, I deal with it. So that was it.
Wow, that's amazing. So that's normally the process of how you come up with, like you hear a beat, you get a little melody, and then you're like, okay, this is it.
Sometimes if I get a concept, seeing at ministry, I'll be like, okay, fella, this is what I got. You either polish it, or you use the exact thing, and whatever. So that's basically how we work. If they got an idea, then they come to me and I feel, you know, just depends on how.
So it's a group effort all the time.
So in relation to events now, we're talking about, you know, the pandemic. It's somewhat, restrictions lifted somewhat and so on. What does that mean for you in terms of events and bookings and that sort of thing? Have you benefited from?
Well,
not really.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So what do you want people to know by way of coming to you to make sure that you can get?
Yeah, well, we are on social media, Instagram, JTS, J_T_S ENT, Facebook, JTS Entertainment. We also have an email, JTS Entertainment. Is it JTS Entertainment 21? Anyway, at Gmail. We can see all the information and we have a number. The contact management is 668-9224.
Alright.
So you have ways and means to contact us. So message us through Instagram and Facebook. Get the numbers. Everything is on Facebook too. So you cannot.
Okay, so we were just watching the video and I saw a lot of festive elements in the video. Who came up with that idea? You look good in your bull costume, by the way. I would like to see you in a costume next. But who came up with that idea?
Basically, it was us. Just like after getting the rules and regulations from the contest, and we realized, okay, you can't do this.
You can't do props.
Whatever, and so you know,
so
it kind of was an element of surprise catching everybody in the competition because I guess everybody had a mindset that this is what they're going to do to go to in the competition. But when they came with a different set of rules,
You had to just readjust.
I was like, okay. I think I found a way that we could use this to our advantage because, you know, we are meant to think alike, but sometimes, you know, you have to just try it. And I was like, and what they are trying to do, I don't think much, don't think.
That way.
And our song is very easy to paint a picture to our song.
Right.
So you were trying to paint a picture.
It's not very hard. So even though they reached us with pops, it was hard.
Right, so you still were able to paint a picture.
Yeah.
Just code alone said it all.
Well, I'm going to definitely check my social media. Look for me, JTS Band. I'm now a fan. And we will go to a break. Thanks for coming right after this.
All right.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Let's face it, most parents or guardians don't want to think about their teens having sex, let alone contemplate the possibility that they might get pregnant or get someone pregnant. Teenage pregnancy is a situation that involves female adolescents. A teenage female can be pregnant as early as age 12 or 13, although it is usually 14 and older. The fact that teenagers become pregnant is related to many factors. Here are some tips to decrease teen pregnancy. Teach teenagers comprehensive sex education. Target messages at teen boys, not just girls. Get the whole community involved. Encourage mentoring, parental involvement, and support. This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
And we are back on Good Morning SKN. We are talking about
What's happening?
what's happening. You tell me.
All right, so we're still having In the Spirit of Christmas. I think today may be the second or the last day. And we spoke about it yesterday where, you know, everybody meets up again. We're finally able to go outside and be amongst friends and family.
I gotta ask you, are you in the spirit? Are you in the spirit?
I actually am. I bought a really,
Behave.
I'm in the commercial spirit of Christmas. I bought a really big Christmas tree that I still have to decorate, but I just need to find the time.
Do you do the artificial or the real one?
I bought my first real Christmas tree this year.
Okay. And
So I'm really excited. I'm really excited for my house to start smelling like pine.
Like pine, exactly.
Yes. What about you? You said you're the one who decorates and stuff?
Yeah, my yard is decorated with angels and reindeer.
Already?
And my hedge is decorated with lights, and I'm feeling really festive.
Great.
I love that.
I saw this picture that was saying, this quote that was saying, like, every time as a Caribbean person, we have this default where once we see somebody's house with a lot of lights, our first thing to think is like, oh, the electricity bill must be really, really high. Is that the truth?
A lot of it is solar.
Okay.
Thankfully.
Oh, amazing.
A lot of it is solar. The hedge is definitely solar.
All right.
So you are in the Christmas spirit.
Yes, I'm trying to get there. Christmas is, as I told you, it's one of my favorite times of year. So I force myself to get into the zone. I make sure that I play Christmas music, maybe even in November. I start listening to carols, and I get myself in a festive vibe.
Well, there are a lot of people who are also in the Christmas spirit. It's very difficult to separate in our parts of the world anyway. Christmas and Carnival, Christmas and Sugar Mass. So events. You know, you got to give me a rundown.
I think what we have next are the Calypso eliminations. I think we spoke about Calypso as well. You mentioned
I feel that, but somehow
King Lala.
King Lala. You have no idea who. I don't know if he was king though. He should have been. Anyway. All right. Yeah. So yeah, definitely the Calypso. I feel like we should have a Calypsonian walking behind us right now, or running in the studio and singing something. I don't know.
I think so. Oh, you could improv.
But I'm not a Calypsonian. You're more like that, I guess. Can you?
No.
Have you ever sang Calypso?
I have. I
Good
actually
song.
did for the first time at the opening of Carnival, which was last week. Yes, I
What
sang
did you
Sunday
sing?
Juve.
Original composition or
No,
Sunday
no, no.
Juve?
I
Okay.
sang Sunday Juve. Oh, and great news! I actually just in like buying my lunch yesterday, I realized that Conris Maynard, who is now the politician, has gone back into singing Calypso.
Okay, we missed him.
We
Conrad, if you're
we
listening,
did. I loved
missed
him as a
you.
Calypsonian.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
will we invite him in the studio? Will we have him?
I don't know, but you never know. A phone call, a Zoom chat, we'll see if he's available.
All right, management. We'd like to have Congress in the studio.
I like when you say management. It's like the guys upstairs. Let's
The
take an
guys
elevator up to
upstairs
the
we
top.
love.
Management? Yeah.
So again, are you a Carnival person or just strictly Christmas?
Well, Carnival, it's interesting because there's a little bit of a divide when you talk about that. Because
Mhm.
if you grow up somewhat religious, especially with older people,
Yeah.
then you tend to think, well, participating in Carnival is
Is-
kind of, unfortunately, the old label. I'm liberalized now, but the old label, you think of Carnival as potentially kind of carnal.
Yeah.
So I was
worldly.
one of those people who
Mhm.
would go with my family to watch the people walk,
Mhm.
and I still do it. I still
Mhm.
do it. So actually, I saw a couple of friends who were away who attended the last New Year's Day parade, and I'm sitting at Greenlands, and they're walking back. By the way, if you guys, you should check that out. Hopefully, we get some footage. Management again, footage of Carnival. Management again.
Yes.
Right. So I'm there sitting on Greenland's pasture, And there is one of my friends who works in New York, by the way, and she's just like having a good time. She's like, the
She's
life
in
of
a
the party.
costume.
She is not in a costume
Oh,
because
she's
she
not.
didn't even need one.
Okay.
You know those kind of people?
Okay. Yes, I know those type of people.
Are you one of those kind of people? Uh-oh, jury's out. I want to check some photos because I saw you. I saw.
One time,
Yeah, one
I
time?
played mass one time.
That was
yeah.
one time?
One time.
I don't
I
know
mean,
why.
similar to you, I grew up in a very religious household. So I've actually never been to a juve ever. Never been to a juve. Played mass one time. Yeah, I mean, as I've gotten older, like I've started to participate more in carnival, and I do like it, but I don't like when it overwhelms Christmas because I'm still a Christmassy person.
Still a Christmas girl at heart.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
am.
Hashtag Christmas girl. All right,
Yes.
so, yeah, so that's the thing. I'm like, I saw you. I saw the photo of you. My cousin, who's actually going to be a guest on the show in the not-too-distant future, and I won't give it away, I think he took a photo of you, and it looked, you were angelic almost. I forgot the costume.
Am I not angelic now?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll ask the viewers. We will ask the viewers what they think. We'll see.
Yeah, but I did that, and I mean, can you believe it's been 2 years that we haven't had mass in the streets? So hopefully we're keeping our fingers crossed to bring it back for 2022. It's become such a huge thing in St. Kitts and Nevis. When I played that year, yes, I was dressed as an angel. I played with Ultra, and it was so much. No, not a Charlie's Angel. I played with Ultra, and it was so much fun. But guys, share your carnival experiences with us. Thank you again for tuning in. It's been a lovely morning. We'll see you tomorrow morning on Good Morning SKN.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, SKN.